Imagine upon your upper down, which means to rise up or stand and face the east. All right. All right. We are going to do some prayers. All right. First prayer is going to be the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shukah, Yahweh, Malawatka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan Lanawa, Lakum, Ko, Yawam, Masalakanawa, Kawalawati Nawa, Kasalakanawa, Kawalawati Nawa, Wala'a, Taba'aya Nawa, Wanasayawan, Abo, Hawashaya Nawa, Mayun, Rad, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapara, La'ulamni, Aman. In English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Amen. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Aharim, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'an, Yahweh, Asha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Ayathan, Lamawat, Regoaka, Ayanawam, Shemarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yashun, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazarka, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashemash, La'ayaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Rad, Yashamar, Aknapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, to the Akka, Wawatka, Mayatha, I will love. In English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth, and even forevermore. Hakah in Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Babakashah, Nathan Lanawa, Hakah, Larpa'ah, Call Makala, will call Manawa, Hakah, La Chahor, Hamatazarium, Hakah, La Hakium, Hamathium, Hakah, Arakakotslakia, Arakawak, Hatama'ala, Lagarsham, Ba'ashemia Washah, the water Aman. The power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it. Bless Israel in Hebrew. Yahweh Shemel Shai, Barak Lanawa, Wayasha Allah, Wahabayat, Sapari, Barak, Rapa'ah, Magun, Hagun. Say the name of loved ones once. Everyone repeats the name once. All right. For those that's on social media, go ahead and type in the loved one that you want to pray for, and we'll go ahead and say the name and send up those prayers. All right. And let me see. Okay. Let me see here. Otherwise, let me start off. Israelite School UPK. All of Israel. Yahweh. Yahweh Shai. Angels. Generals. Captains. Officers. Troopers. Students. Sisters. Children. All of Israel. Marakapath. Rakawana. Lashamaywa. Sapara. Izara. Yapa. Taziyah. Shara. House of Kanagabar. Izara. Sharon. David. Malaya. Marley. Ezra. Devin. Noel. Family. Johnson family. Brown family. All right. Okay. Kudasayam. Tarak. Amangabar. Kanagabar. Kawanya Allah. All of Israel. I think that's it so far. All right. All right. Bashimi Awashah, Tawala Aman. Bless Israel in English. Lord, in the name of Yahushua, bless us in Israel, in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect loved ones. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Psalms 83 in Hebrew. Alahayim. Av. Doyalaka. Alta Karash. Or Alta Shakwak. All. Kayahana. Awapika. Yahama Yawan. Ra'ash. Al Amaka. Yarayumwa. Sawada. Ayatha Yatazawa. Alta the Panyaka. Amara. Lakawa. Wanakat Yadam. Mongolia. Wala'ah. Yazakar. Shamya Sha'ala. Ivada. Kaya. Nawai Tazawa. Laba. Yakatwa. Ayaka. Barayat. Yakarathwa. Ahoya. Adawam. Wayashamai. Alayam. Mo'aba. Wagarian. Kubal. Waimalan. Waimalak. Halashak. Am Yashabya. Tazawar. Gum Ashawar. Nalawa. Imam. Hayawa. Zarwa. Labanya Lawat. Salah. Aishalahum. Kamadian. Kasayasara'ah. Kayabian. Manakol. Koyashwan. Nashamatwa. Bayan Da'ara. Hayawa. Daman. La'adama. Shayathamwa. Nada. Yamawa. Kara. It's like Kaira. Wakazabak. Wakazabak. Wakatazol. Manai. Korsanea Kamwa. Ashar. Amarva. Naharsha. Lanawa. At. Na'awa. Alahayim. Alahaya. Cheathamwa. Kagogala. Kokwash. Lapanya Rawaka. Ka'ash. The Barya Ira. Wakalaba. Dalahat Horrigan. Kanthar Dakma. Basaraka. Wabasawa Patka. Dalahalam. Mala'ah. Hanyaham, Palawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shumka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayabahova, Ya Idai, Waya Kapara, Waya Abatwa, Waya Daiwa, Kaya Atha, Shumka, Yahweh, Labatka, Al Yawan, Al Kaharataza. And in English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off of being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Hold on 1 second. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Israelites of Moab, the Hagarians, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, the habitants of Tyre, Ashur also showing with them. They have hoped in the children of Lot, Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which periods had endured. They became as dung for the earth, made the nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb. Yea, all the princes as Zabah and as Zamunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. All right. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. See evils of curses and punishment and instruction to the heathens that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. See evils of curses and punishment and instruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force the riches to enter to thy sanctuary, and send evil and curses and punishment and instruction to the Edomites and the nations and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Hazakamatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, works of witchcraft, Hazakamatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, works of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Wall Street, opened up the internet and the airways, the cable access channel, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always. So be it. Sir. Also to Sar, which is SAR, Sar in Hebrew, means turn. All right. Once you get done facing the east, y'all bear with me when it comes to the horn. All right, I'm still learning it. That's it. All right. All right. Yahweh Shemi Awashab Rakatah. La Yashal. All right. Yashabia, which means to be seated. All right. First things first, I want to say Shalom, Yahweh Shemi Awashab Rakatah to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar. Alatah Bashemi Awashab to all the sisters. All right. That's tuned in. How y'all doing today? I hope everybody is doing well, getting ready for the Passover. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Okay. I'm very, very much excited to see everybody who I haven't seen in such a long time. Also, too, I'm ready to meet brothers and sisters who I haven't seen yet, who are new to the truth, who are just coming in, trying to figure out life and their purpose as well when it comes to serving the Most High, which you will find out very soon. First step is make sure that you stay in class, stay in counsel if you need it. Otherwise, putting yourself in a position where you are not being tempted, you're not in a situation of backsliding, putting yourself in a place where you have peace, ease, and just just righteousness. You know what I mean? People in the world, they call it good energy, vibration. I really don't use those words because it can get worldly, but I'll just say putting yourself in a great place, in a great state of mind. You know what I mean? so yes. And at the watch to the sister, I'm doing Tawad. I'm doing just fine. I'm just very excited. I got a few things I got to do as far as Minnesota before we go out and jet out. I'll be at the Passover by Monday on the 11th, so I'll be there by Monday. Hopefully, I see somebody. Well, I probably won't see nobody on Monday, but except for my camp leader. But I know other brothers and sisters that I've spoken to in Minnesota, outside Minnesota, might be coming in on Tuesday and Wednesday. So so yeah, I'll otherwise South Dakota as well to the sister. So I'll be seeing y'all very soon enough. All right, I'm counting down the days, the hours. We have to get to it. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's get to it. Let me see here. All right, we are going to get into the Hebrew. And we are going over Ezekiel chapter 19, verses 8 through 14, which is the last verses for this chapter. And then after Passover, so pretty much next Saturday, we should be going through chapter 20. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and get it. Ezekiel chapter 19, verse 8. What ya? The na. Aliyah. The yum. Nathan al. Gaya. Sabayah. Mamada. Nanawa. Select it. Nanawa. Okay, I see. Okay. Okay. All right. Wayap, Rasha, Aliyah, Rashtam, Parash, Al, Rashat, Bash, Hatham, Vashatham, Nathash, Shakat, Dapash. Verse 9. Wayaf, Naha, Nawathia, Vasagar, Nathan, Sagar, Bahayim, Bahayim, Waya'ab, Ahoya, Aha, Salakia, Waya'ab, Ahoya, Al, let's see. Okay, okay. Malak, Babor, Yab, Yabahor, let's see. What's this? Bum Tada Dakwa, Lamalam, Lamalam. That's how you say it, Salakia. That's a tongue twister right there. Good night. Oh, or Salakia, actually, La'ah. Okay, good. Yashamai, Kula. Oh no. Yeah. Kula. Iwad. Oh. Hurrah. Yasha'ala. Pa. Verse 10. Ahmad. Ahmad. Kapan. Kagapan. Ramak. Al. Mayum. Shatlaha. Shatlaha. Parya. Wanapa. Hayatha. Hayatha. Mamayum. Aina. Haya. Mayum. Rabium. Rabium. Salaki. Rabium. Verse 11. Waya. Waya yana. Salaki. Waya. Waya. Yewa. La'a. Matawat. Aitaza. Haya'a. Mata'a. Or better yet, Mata. Aitaza again. Ow. Shabaya. Mashalayum. Wathgaba. Humatal. Humatal. Ow. Bayan. Ibati. Wayara. No, it's like Warrior. Gawa. Varab. Salakia. Damn, good night. That's a tongue twister right there. Oh, Vilayah. Yoa. Verse 12. Salakia. These are some new words right here. Good night. All right, let's see. Verse 12. Wathash. Wathayathash. Bakmath. Bakmath. La Artiza. Hashlakah. Warak. Hakdium. Hawabayash. Parya. Harparqua. Harparqua. The key word would be like parak. All right. We yab sha. Yeah. Oh yeah. We yabsha. Mata. Isa. Ash. A call. Thaya. Verse 13. All right. Ba'itha. Shita. La'a. Vamaid. 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 Va'ar. Va'ar. Tazaya. What Tazama. All right. Verse 14. Wa Taza'a. Ash. Mamata. Barya. Karya. Akala. Wala'a. Haya'a. Ba. Mata. Isa. Shabbat. Lamash Ya'ol. Koyana. Haya'a. Wathia. Laquayana. That's it. All right. Shalak, that was a tongue twister. This one. This time around. All right. It took me a good minute. Shalak, I haven't read the actual Hebrew like that in a good minute. So used to the other man doing it. Otherwise, that was good though. So that was 7 verses. Some new words that I haven't seen yet, which is good. Most High in Christ. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get into it. All right. In the Sabbath service, of course, since there's only one man here, we are gonna, just do it quickly. It's not gonna be super long, how we usually do it. If anybody got any questions or concerns, go ahead and ask it in the chat, and we'll go ahead and get into it. All right. Otherwise, we are going to go into the English, and we are going to read also
the previous verses from last week. Okay, that's what we are going to do. All right. All right. So last week we had started off with Ezekiel the 19th chapter, verse 1 through verse 7. And before we get into the verses 8 through 14, we are just going to read up just pretty much the whole chapter, so that way we can get some background information on what this was speaking about. Okay. All right. So Ezekiel chapter 19, verse 1. Moreover, take thou up a lamentation for the princes of Israel. Now the key word is lamentation, because that's what's going to be spoken about throughout the whole chapter. And what a lamentation is great sorrow, grief. You know what I mean? That thing that's very painful. Think of lamentation as what is more popular in the media as of right now is a Black, Hispanic, or Native American woman losing their child. There's so many videos out there that we see of sisters, you know, grieving their husband, their child, their loved one. You know what I mean? Just, it's something about a woman's tears that does something to, people. You know what I mean? Um, and imagine that, as a lamentation, because there are other examples in the Bible where a woman is used as a metaphor, a allegory, as a parable, so to speak, right? A parable is a wise teaching, so it's a story about something, but it correlates to reality. You know what I mean? It's like you making up a scenario, but you bringing it back to reality for someone to understand. That's what pretty much a parable is, right? And I'm gonna go over this very soon because this probably has to be one of my favorite parables. I want to say it's Second Esdras, the 10th chapter. And let me go ahead and double check that real quick because I believe that's the one where it talks about the woman crying over her dead child, right? But what Esdras was seeing was not a real person. And this is real life, by the way. All the stories that you hear about in the Bible, um, nine times out of 10, they are true. Or these men have experienced, or these women have experienced it. Otherwise, some can just be a metaphor or a parable, right? Let me see. Mm-hmm. Um, okay, let me see. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay. That's it. That's it, yep. So Second Ezra chapter 10 has to be one of my favorite chapters because what it's it's a it's a parable, but it actually happened before Ezra's eyes, meaning that he was like in a trance, so to speak. You know what I mean? You know how people they doze off, they are daydreaming, they are in their own world, is what a lot of people would say. Like you're not even focused on what's happening in the room. You're just all in your head, just thinking like, about whatever. And this is pretty much Ezra's, you know, um, he's thinking that he's talking to someone, but he's really not. Something else is happening, but he realizes later what is happening and throughout the chapter. It's such a great chapter. You know what I mean? If anybody wants to go over it, I'd love to go over it, during class or in person, so on and so forth. But anyway, the point is lamentation, right? Or the key word is lament, which is once again, lamentation and lament is really not that much different. sorrow, grief. Sometimes it could be, like regrets, but it's more on the sorrow, the deep grief, like depression type of thing, right? Like you lost somebody and you just so heartbroken, like you all over the place. You know what I mean? You don't know what to do. You're pretty much in shock, right? So moreover, what's it? Moreover, take up thou a lamentation for the princes of Israel. So there's something that you have to tell them, and it's not going to be good news, right? Verse 2, and say, what is thy mother? A lioness, she lay down among lions, she nourished her whelps among young lions. We talked about this last week. A mother, she raised up her children well because she was amongst, hardcore men, right? Lions, of course. Verse 3, and she brought up one of her whelps. It became a young lion, and it learned to catch the prey. It devoured men. Pay attention to it devoured men part, right? Okay. Verse 4, the nations also heard of him. He was taken in their pit, and they brought him with chains unto the land of Egypt. And we know that the land of Egypt is known as bondage, or otherwise Babylon, but more on the point, the land of Egypt is the land of bondage, where we was held in captivity. That's where we was held at, right? Okay. Otherwise, bondage is matazar. So matazar in Hebrew. If you want to say bondage, which still correlates to Egypt, um, or what's the word? Egyptians, matazarium, which is plural. Okay, so bondage in Egypt is pretty much the same thing, matazar, right? Because it really means that. Now, matazarium is going to be Egyptians, right? You wouldn't say bondages, really. You would just say Egyptians. So matazarium, all right? And now I'm gonna go over that I might go over that next week. Yeah, so like, hold on, wait a minute. Okay, good night. I'm gonna go over that probably after Passover, okay? All right, so verse 4. The nations also heard of him, he was taken in their pits, and they brought him with chains unto the land of Egypt. So when it says he was taken into the pit, meaning that they had a trap set up for this whelp, this young lion that was devouring men. Verse 5. Now, when she saw that she had waited and her hope was lost, then she took another of her whelps and made him a young lion. So she lost one whelp, so she raised up another. Okay. And like of course, if you lose, a child, you just gotta keep going. Because reincarnation is a thing. You just gotta keep going. And you raise them up the same way, according to the Most High, according to the law, of course, right? Um, verse 6, and he went up and down among the lions. He became a young lion and learned to catch the prey and devour men. Verse 7, and he knew their desolate places, so like it palaces, and he laid waste their cities, and the land was desolate, and the fullness thereof, by the noise of his roaring. So this cat is making a lot of noise based on his strength, his power, his talents. He's making a lot of noise, right? And he made the place desolate. All right. Now, of course, I know what the word desolate means, as far as what says to make the places desolate, like the palaces desolate, right? And that's a good word because you're going to see that a lot. Okay. You're going to see that word a lot. So give me a second here. Let's see. All right, Salakia. Phone would act funny all of a sudden. Okay, yeah. So let me see. So desolate, right? Oh, yeah, right there. All right. The word desolate means devoid of inhabitants and visitors, or otherwise deserted. That's one of the key words. Joyless. Let's see. Sorrowful through or as if through separation from a loved one. That's not really what I'm looking for. Um, to deprive of inhabitants. So pretty much, or otherwise to lay waste. So what that means simply is that um, so what that means is that this place is going to be destroyed. Nothing is going to be left. All right. Desolate or desolation is a word that you will always see in the Bible. Okay. Otherwise, the word woe. Now, woe has many different meanings, but when you see the word woe in the Bible, majority of the time, it's talking about death or destruction, right? So woe as in WOE, you know what I mean? So it's going to talk about death and destruction because that's what's going to happen. All right, so moving on. Um, Now also too, when it says, and he knew their desolate palaces, and he laid waste their cities, and the land was desolate, and the fullness thereof, by the noise of his roaring. You can also apply this to what we do on the street corners. Us speaking the truth, raising up our voice like a trumpet, the cities are going to be destroyed. Like, understand that the ISUPK has changed things in our own states, our own place of dwellings because of what we do according to the Most High. We have went to the Supreme Court, which is a big thing to a lot of people in the world. But we have won Supreme Court battles over public speaking on the street corners, and they could do nothing but agree. Yes, we got us a lawyer. We play by Esau's book, but the only thing that Esau did not see coming is that the Lord is with us. We don't have to be like our oppressor. We don't have to, pay off the judge and because they want damn near a quarter to a million. I mean, there are no millionaires in EPK. But when we come together, we are all rich. Whatever he has or she has, they both have, right? If I got $5 and you don't, we have $5. You know what I mean? And that's just one scenario. You feel me? Like when we come together, we have something. When we come together, we have something with each other, right? We have each other's backs. We are able to help one another. And of course, I mean, we have a strong unity in the UPK. It's called brotherhood. It's called sisterhood. If you want to learn all about it, you got to come in, man. You got to see for yourself. All right. We work with each other, not against each other. And since we work for the Lord works with us. He's dealing with us. That's why when you have the Holy Spirit, right? Or otherwise, and I say Holy Spirit like this because a lot of people say Holy Ghost. Ghosts are not real. It's all fairy tales. But the Holy Spirit. When you do righteous acts, that's the Holy Spirit on you. That's the Most High giving His Spirit to you at that moment, at that time. When you are speaking the truth, when you are, teaching, when you are just doing amazing things righteously, the Most High is with you at that moment, at that time of that act. You feel me? That's what's happening. The way that you think, the way that you move, your actions, the Most High is with you if it's righteous. If it's the opposite, the Lord is not with you. And also, too, how to measure what is of the Lord, you have to study and see what is of the Lord. That's why class is always important. You missing classes, you showing up every once in a while, watching videos later on, it's not useful. Staying on top of it then and there. Like, okay, of course, if you got responsibilities that are keeping you from, tuning into class online, being in class physically is understandable. But do whatever you can to sharpen your sword. For example, right? We always say in EPK, sharpen your sword. In order to sharpen a sword, you got to use something similar to this to sharpen it, right? You can't sharpen no damn sword on a pillow. You can't. It needs something to match the strength of this. Sharpen your sword. Stay on top of it. Add on to your knowledge that you have right now, right? Because the knowledge that you have comes from the Lord. It don't come from you. It doesn't come from the internet. Because the Lord doesn't allow everyone to see what we see, how we think, how we live. And there's a reason behind that. That's a different class. And that's a class I really do want to get into, okay? All right, so anyway, let me keep going. Let's see here. Verse 8. Then the nations set against him on every side from the provinces and spread their net over him. He was taken in their pit. So they captured this man, this young lion. And the metaphor is like, a lion being captured, a animal, right? Verse 9. And they put him in ward and chains and brought him to the king of Babylon. They brought him into holds that his voice should no more, that his voice should no more be heard upon the mountains of Israel. This is how you know this is a metaphor speaking about Israelite men. Because a lion can definitely roar very loud, right? But over the mountains where a nation of people have to come all over to one place, from their place to another place, right? That's not their dwelling place. To capture a lion, this is a metaphor for Israelite men. Okay? Verse 10. Thy mother is like a vine, and thy blood. Planted by the water, she was fruitful and full of branches by reason of many waters. Meaning she was fruitful, meaning like she was a resourceful type of woman. The branches talks about the resource that she has. You know what I mean? Think of the analogy of a family tree, the branches, the levels of things. You know what I mean? The opportunities. Like all these words that I'm using are what people would use as a scenario, metaphor, figurative language for a family tree. And that's what it's talking about. She was fruitful. She had all these talents. She had all these, options, opportunities, things of that sort. Okay. So, of course, she learned from the best. She learned from young lions. She learned from these hardcore men. And she raised her lion, her whelp, to be the same. Verse 11. And she had strong rods for the scepters of them that bear rule. And her stature was exalted among the thick branches, and she appeared in her height with the multitude of her branches. Let's talk about reputation. Talk about the strength and discipline she had, right? Verse 12. But she was plucked up in fury, she was cast down to the ground, and the east wind dried up her fruits. So, in a nutshell, she was okay. She was plucked up in fury. She was cast down to the ground, and the east wind dried up her fruit. Her strong rods were broken and withered. The fire consumed them, meaning that she lost the battle, right? She wasn't a match for them, although she was a strong, sister who learned from these strong men, and she raised up her whelps to be strong at the best of her ability. But here is the plus side, or the other side. Verse 13. And now she is planted in the wilderness in a dry and thirsty ground. Verse 14. And fire is gone out of a rod of her branches, which have devoured her fruits, so that she have no strong rod to be a scepter to rule. This is a lamentation, and shall be for a lamentation. So I want to ask y'all, right? For those that are watching, between verse 13 and 14, what is it saying? I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell. But what is it saying? Okay? Let me know. Ezekiel chapter 19, verses 13 and 14. What is it saying? Why is this a lamentation? Why is this sad? Anybody can type it in. Why is this a sad lamentation between verses 13 and 14? I'll give y'all a second. I'll give y'all a moment. Anybody, tell me what is important about 13 and 14. I would take any right answer, any wrong answer, it doesn't matter. Like when you read verse 13, like it's right there. 14 is right there. All right, I'm gonna give you one more minute, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and speak on it. If you don't know, you can say la you don't know, or salakia. I'm gonna give you all the answer in a second. Oh, okay. Oh, no sweat, sis. No sweat. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. So Ezekiel chapter 19, verse 13, right? But yeah, I'll go to verse 12. But she was plucked up in fury. She was cast down to the ground, and the east wind dried up her fruits. Her strong rods were broken and withered. The fire consumed them. Now, as you know, a rod in the scriptures is talking about like a staff, a stick. You know what I mean? Verse 13. And now she is planted in the wilderness in a dry and thirsty ground. No sweat, no sweat, sis. Verse 14. And fire is gone out of the rod of her branches, which have devoured her fruit, so that she have no strong rods to be a scepter to rule. This is a lamentation and shall be for a lamentation. So just for time's sake, because I'm going to wrap it up anyway. This is speaking about, okay, the first part of the first part of the story, which you read, is that this woman raised up some strong whelps, but they were young lions, but they got devoured. Once they got devoured, what happened to her? What happened to the mother after I mean it's like after the strong whelps got devoured? What happened to her? All right. What happened to the mother after her, strong whelps got devoured? Just answer me that question, and I'll give the answer. Right. So the sister not being able to produce more. All right. So yes. Right. Okay. So all right. So all right. I'll give it to you. All right. Because it's right there. So how strong? Okay. That woman was very strong. Yes. Right. She was a strong woman because of how she was raised. That the children were very powerful and strong as well. Right. What happened was when they got devoured, or slightly better yet, when they got captured by just Babylon, being in the land of Babylon and things of that sort. What happened was all the resources that they had got destroyed. Just like today, when we think about Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians today, right? What happens is we get destroyed, we get conquered. So what happened to her young lions happened to her. She got conquered, and because of that, she's now in a dry and thirsty place. She's at a place where she cannot make it. She cannot survive. She's in the ghettos. She is in the trenches. It's talking about the state of Israel. That is the whole entire chapter. It's speaking about how Israel is destroyed. We are at a dry and thirsty place. When you go into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it talks about how we will be in want and need of all things. This is no different than this right here. So all the things that she had, they're now gone and destroyed. She has nothing. The state of Israel has nothing. We are being put in traps and being put in pits. You know what I mean? That's what's happening today. And that is very synonymous to what's happening right now in front of our eyes. If you look at the reservations, that is a dry and thirsty place. Why is it dry and thirsty? Because it has nothing to provide. When you have dry land, right, you cannot till the land. Well, you can, but it's very hard. To till the land means to produce something, to farm, to work, to do husbandry, to be a husbandman. The word husbandman just means farmer, but also it actually applies to being a husband too, but more on the farmer's side in this context, right? That's what it's speaking about. It's speaking about there's nothing you have nothing no more. You are now on EBT. You are now now you have to ask master for everything. Now you got to pay rent to him. Now you got to go by his school system. You have to be in the bubble of the American dream. Like that's the lamentation. Because it is sorrowful, and consequences and terror and hell comes with that, being ruled by this devil. Like for example, I'm gonna get it one more time. When it says, let me see. Verse 9, and they put him in ward and chains and brought him to the king of Babylon. They brought him into holds that his voice should no more be heard upon the mountains of Israel. Have you ever heard of the precept where it says, bind up a strong man? That's happening today. Child support binds up a strong man. That's lamentation. Being shot down in your streets is lamentation. Like read the whole book of Lamentation. Like it's a fire. When I say fire, it's a glorious and just a great book. It's amazing. It's a really amazing book to read and study and to always look at all the time, because lamentation will always come up. It's going to be in your face. It's going to be outside your door, literally outside your door. As soon as you walk out, you just see something that's terrible, that should not be happening, but it's happening. You know what I mean? It's going to be at work. It's going to be as soon as you pick up your phone and some notification pops up on your phone. Bad news. You know what I mean? The news in general. You know? Like imagine what's happening between Russia and Ukraine, but it's happening in your state. Imagine that. All the people who are dead, who are dying, bombs going off. Imagine that on a more crazy level. Or how about this? Black and Hispanic and Native Indians dying by suicide, police brutality, drug use, alcoholism, prostitution, sex trafficking, child molestation, rape. The list goes on. That's lamentation. That's what Ezekiel was explaining. And once again, like this is a deep chapter. Although it's short, it says a lot. You know what I mean? It says a lot without saying too much in those 14 verses. You know what I mean? So that's what it's speaking about. Let me know if the brothers and sisters understand. All right. If you understand, let me know. Put it in the chat that you understand. Give me a 144. 144 in the chat. Okay. Let me know if it makes sense. All right. I want to know that it makes sense. Okay. All right. So yeah. One sister said 144. All right. Well, I'm sure everybody else understands if you understand, right? So yeah, like that's what the lamentation is, and there's so many other lamentations throughout the Bible. That goes really into depth. Once again, my favorite one that I can just think about off the top of my head is Second Ezra, the 10th chapter. I might mess around and go ahead and read that today. Not during class right now, but just later on, just to refresh my memory. That way I can go over it in the future. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much it on that. Let me see here. I think it's one more thing I want to get. Okay, all right, come. All right, most high in Christ. All right, cool. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna say Amijim, which means to rise or to stand. It's like to stand. All right.
Ramajun Fani Hakudam. Stand and face the east. We are going to get back into the prayers. For those that I missed in the prayers, I'm going to, say your names. Otherwise, you can type in anybody's name in the chat, and we are going to get into it, okay? All right. Let's get it. All right, Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shabkat, Yahweh, Malach Watka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baharataza, Kawa, Hayah, Lashamayim, Nathalanawa, Lakom, Kol, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kawawakyanawa, Kasalakanawa, Kawawakyanawa, Wala'a, Taba'ayanawa, Walasawan, Abon, Hawashayanawa, Mayon, Ra, Kaya, Lakab, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wataparak, Wa'alam, Amon. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Amen. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahariya, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Waratasa, Ayathon, Lamawat, Regalka, Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'al, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazarka, Ayad, Yamyaka, Yawamam, Hashemash, La'ayaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makara, Yashamar, Atlapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, to the Atka, Wawatka, Mayatha, I will learn. In English, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Hakah in the Hebrew. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Babakashah, Athalanawa, Hakah, La Fa'ah, Karbakala, Wakar Marawa, Hakah, La Tahor, Hamathazari, Hakah, La Hakim, Hamathim, Hakah, Arakawak, Hatama'ala, La Gorshin, Bashem Yahushai, the Wala Aman, the power in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Barak Lanawa, Wayasha'ala, Wahabayah, Superior, Barak, Rapa'ah, Magun, Hagun. Say the name of loved ones once, everyone repeats the name once. So right now, this is the time for those that are on social media. If you want to
say something for your loved one. All right, as far as typing their name in, we'll go ahead and say it in the class. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and begin. Israelite School UPK, ISUPK, Minnesota. All of Israel, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, angels, generals, captains, officers, students, troopers, sisters, children, all of Israel. All right. If anybody want to say anything for your loved ones, go ahead, put it in the chat. Okay. Shagar Riyah, Yakodash, Kanaya Allah, Bariah, Kabah Tabak, Kabah Dabar, Dabar Math, Kodash Ayun, Tarak, Amagabar, Kanagabar, Bakawana, Sharak, Taziyak, Ainawa, Kawa, Lashamaiwa, Marakapa, Sapara, Tati, Jade, Samantha, Dakaya, Bakara Dunn, Beatrice, all of Israel, Sathar. All right. Let's see. Ba'ashemi Awashai, Tawala Amun. Lord, in English, Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us in Israel in the school. Bless who shall protect loved ones. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Adam Yalaka, Alta Karash, wa Alta Shakwat, Al, Kayahana, Alwakika, Yahamayawan, Ra'ach, Al Maka, Yarayama, Sawada, Bayatha, Yataizawa, Altazapungaka, Amara, Lakawa, Wanakad Yadam, Magoya, Wala'a Yazakor, Shamya Sha'ala, Ivada, Kaya, Nawatazawa, Labat, Yakatwa, Ayaka, Baryak, Yakawa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wayashama Alayam, Mawa'aba, Wagardi, Gabal, Wamawan, Wamalak, Palashak, Anyashabya, Tazawar, Gum Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarak, Yashabya, Tazawar, Auslaki. Lavanya Lawat, Salah, Ashalahum, Kamadyi, Kasiyasara'a, Kayabyi, Wanakol, Kwayashwan, Ashermatwa, Wayanda Arva, Hayawa Daman, La'adama, Sheathamwa, Nadaya Mawa, Kara, Wakazabak, Wakazazoa Manai, Kar Nasir Kumwa, Ashor, Amara, Narasha, Salati, Narash, Salati, Narasha'a, Lanawa'a, Nawa'a, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shathamwa, Kagorgala, Kokwas, Lapanya Baraka, Ka'ach, Tabaria Iron, Wakalaba, Dalahat, Horium, Kantar Gatma, Basaraka, Wabasa Wapaka, Dalahalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shabka, Yahawah, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Ayai, Wayakaparwa, Wayabatwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya Athashim Ka, Yahawah, Labatka al Salaki, How you want, I'll call her Rakasa. In English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off for being a nation. that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hungarians, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the habits of the Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which fares at Endor. They became as dung for the earth, make their nobles like Orib and like Zeeb, yea, all the princes as Ba and as Jamunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flames set the mountains on fire. And so persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded in trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth.
All right. All right, go to the next one.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth and all things living, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shah, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force the riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Positive Kamatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, works of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels, convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let us all the plagues, cause and go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues take the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shah, Michael and Gabriel come down to flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause it to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you always. So be it.
All right. Sorry. Which means turn. Okay. All right. That being said, Israel, I want to say shalom. All right.